Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our preview show. Well, it's not our last preview show for the season, but it is our last preview show for the Premier League. I mean, it's been some season, lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of ups, lots of downs with everything, but it all comes down to this. And I don't know why it has to come down to this, but it has come down to this. Final day, a few things to be sorted out. We'll talk about that throughout the show, of course. But joining me once again, welcome back, Gaurav. It's been a while since we've had you, but we're excited to have you back again. How are you doing?
Doing fine, Rohit, and it's always good to be on the show.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know what? I think I'm more nervous than Gaurav is, by the way, for this weekend, but we'll talk about that. Knayha, also welcome back on the show. Nice again to see you.
Thank you. It's been a long break, I would say, but yeah, good to be back. And obviously, it's like the last game of the season for at least for Premier League. So
yeah, it's last game week, and yeah, I mean we're streaming live from 3 different continents. That's how important this is. 3 different continents,
yes.
By the way. So smash like if you enjoy the fact that we're doing that. So right, let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Gaurav, we'll start with the title race, of course. The first is the second. I mean, you're wearing a red t-shirt. I hope that is not ominous, but still, City was the Liverpool. I mean, you know what? Will City? I mean, I asked this question. My reaction is: so will City rule the fact that Mahrez missed that penalty? Because it didn't have to come down to this. If we had scored that, then we could probably say, well, yeah, City won the league. But here it is, 1 point away. They're having a big defensive crisis though, because they're losing defenders like crazy. What do you think City's mindset will be going into this game? Especially coming up against Aston Villa.
Well, they have to play for the win, and considering the defenders that you put out, I think Stones and Walker are back and are in contention to start for the game. So that is one thing that both of them are back. That's definitely going to help, obviously. And I think the mindset wouldn't be that bad. Like, we have to play for the win, and the players kind of look like they are giving their all, and definitely that Mahrez missed penalty would have hurt, but as a typical City, we always do it the hard way. So yeah. I guess players will be up for it.
Yeah, no, of course. And the good thing for City is, of course, is they've been in this situation before. Like they've been here where they needed a point, where they've needed late winners, or needed win in the last day. So they've done it. So it's not something that they're not accustomed to. So that would definitely help them. Knayha, I mean, the question, of course, I mean, the subplot is always there's Aston Villa, Steven Gerrard, and all that. I do feel that, and Gerrard might deny it, but I do feel that he's rested players for this game because he's going to try to get Liverpool to win. How do you see City countering that threat? Because the real problem they had against West Ham was the fact that their striker was basically just they had real problems with Antonio in that game. Now they're going to come up against 2 strikers who play on each side of the defender. And that's so basically they're going to do the man marking. How do you think they're going to deal with that? Because that to me is a big challenge. Even Liverpool struggled with that, so City are going to have to cope with that as well.
It's very intricate in that way, right? The game, it's not going to be easy. Like, but then it's Pep Guardiola as well. We have to give him some credit. Like what is not new for City is like they've not made it easy for themselves. But then they always have come back with it. Like they've not dropped. When they drop the ball, they come back stronger. Of course, defensive rules are true. Even having Walker and Stones back, that's still going to they're back from some injury, so they've not played for long. And this is like a very high intensity game. It's basically like everyone in City is looking at what Liverpool is scoring. Like if Liverpool score first, and then City gets the pressure. So it's all about the nerves. So like who scores first in both the games? I guess that's how that's where it's going to turn. But Ings and having Ings, Watkins, they both play off each other very well. Gerrard and Coutinho has been like amazing. Like if he gets 2 yards of space, the passing has just been amazing. Also the fact that they have Cash and Digne back as well from injury, even for Aston Villa, so they get the width from the fullbacks as well. And that is just something which pressures more. Like it all depends on because of course you don't expect City to sit back and then allow people to the teams to counter or get on them, but they can't also give that much space because they don't have that solidity behind. So it is very crucial of the roles that each play. Because that I think we will get to talk about. I think we should talk about who starts the game for City, because for Fernandinho, I think possibly the last game for him for City, he gets a start, and then Rodri starts as well, because you need somebody to kind of hold off. So and do they go Gundogan, or does Pep stress or get Mahrez in? But I think that's kind of the game in my mind, where it's like the selection of these two key players, because defensively, I think Walker, Stones is in, and I think Cancelo, right? So these three are there.
Yeah, but I mean, we're touching on the selection point though, because I wouldn't start Fernandinho in this game. This is how I played, Gaurav. I wouldn't start him, and I probably would not start Zinchenko either. I guess if Walker comes back, then Zinchenko doesn't start anyway. So I'm very So I mean, let's talk about that. Would you start Fernandinho in this game? I don't think he needs to be sentimental. I think just it's bigger things to do than to worry about a last game or whatever.
He's definitely not starting if Stones is fit. He has been responsible for some goals, even against Madrid at the home game in the Champions League. He has lots of pace. He has lost most of his pace, and we know that both Ings and the striker
Watkins,
both are very quick. So it's he's always going to struggle. So I think it will be Cancelo, Laporte, Stones, and Walker if Walker and Stones are fit.
Yeah. Would you throw him into this game? I mean, I don't think he has a choice, but in an ideal world, would you still throw them into this game, knowing that they may not be match fit?
I would. I think, a not match fit Stones is better than Fernandinho, right?
Probably, yeah. That's what in an ideal world, he probably would not. But yeah, in this case, I think needs must, right? They need to get.
Yeah, and it's a last game, so even if they pick up a knock or something, that's not an issue.
Yeah. As long as they don't get injured and have to be substituted or whatever, then they should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm speaking up front though, because that's really, it's strangely flat against West Ham, and I do feel that up front there might be some issues now. How do you structure that? Because do you go with Phil Foden as a false nine? Do you go with Raheem Sterling? Do you I guess the Gabriel Jesus probably picks himself as well. And then do you remove Riyad Mahrez from the team, or do you still back him?
I think Jesus gets in. I think in my mind, Jesus gets it in my mind. As Gaurav would say, Gaurav, continue.
I feel like Jesus was really bad in the last game, and we might see Foden start. And Grealish has kind of been picking up the form. He has been good in the last couple of games. So it could be Grealish, Foden, and Sterling. That would be my choice right now.
And it's against Aston Villa. Grealish against Aston
Villa. Former club.
Maybe, I know that would be something.
For me, the problem with Grealish and Mahrez is that you don't get the width. Both of them want to cut inside, on their stronger foot. So you don't get that width. Get behind that defense. That is the issue with Mahrez and Grealish. So I would probably start Sterling on the right, Foden first line, and Grealish on the left.
Okay, that might be something that might be interesting. And then you put, I guess, Bernardo Silva. Right, over Gundogan. I don't think Gundogan has been that good. Would you go with Silva, De Bruyne? Just keep the same. The Silva, De Bruyne, Rodri, right? That's the one that's worked for them.
Yeah, that he could do that. But I'm like, it's Pep again. He does generally tend to. This is like his revenge for not overthinking on the Champions League part, and overthinking now in the final game.
He doesn't seem to overthink much on the league though. But we've got to be positive vibes here. We all team Pep. Well, I'm team Pep right now. We all probably are team.
No, Pep, but I think he should stick to his best. What's been playing well till now, like the vivid score. I think De Bruyne is their main guy here. They just need to back him up, because he's picked up form. He's picking up the whole team up.
Scaring them much at this point.
Yeah. Exactly, he's just carrying exactly, and and Grealish could be the surprise package here. Like suddenly, because you don't even know he just wants to show why Arsenal, or like go back and not have revenge or something, but then show City why they got like the quality that he has and stuff. And he's been picking up. He at least scored some goals in the last couple of games. So, but I think it's still going to be very mental, and who scores first. If it's 0-0 with Liverpool. And then till here, it's going to be, or it's 1-0. It's all going to change. It's going to be high tempo. It's like the same like Manchester United, Manchester City last minute Aguero, and everyone's watching what's the scoreline and stuff. So this is really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, fine. We all love a bit of final day drama. And of course, we'll try to we'll park the City conversation, of course, for now. But I mean, De Bruyne did have an average game against West Ham, so I'm hoping that's a one-off and he can pick his form. We'll talk about Liverpool. Gaurav, as far as Liverpool go, as far as last day matches go, you can't get an easier tie than against Wolves probably right now, because they're just a team like, they're done with this. It looks like they're done with the season. Some of them probably look like they're done with the club as well. Their form has tailed off, and Liverpool right now, probably thinking, I mean, that's an easy 3 points for us.
Wolves are like, kind of Tottenham for me. Like they look really bad in one game, and then all of a sudden in the next game they look really good. I think their defense is really good. Wolves, they have conceded less goals this season, and I'm not sure, but I had this feelings that they could surprise Liverpool. I've always said this, that Liverpool's backline has been an issue this season, and on the other hand, Wolves have been really good in defense. So, and you have that extra pressure, the Liverpool players, that they have to win that game no matter what. So that could be an issue. And I feel like, as we said, the season has finished for Wolves, and you have that feeling. But Aston Villa players might be feeling the same thing.
Yeah, well, the only thing about Aston Villa is it would be a nailed-on win if it wasn't for Steven Gerrard managing them, and I just feel like he's going to want to do. I mean, if it was say Eddie Howe or Dean Smith, I would say I mean, they should get the job done. It's just the Villa thing, the Gerrard thing kind of makes it a little bit sad, doesn't it? But anyway, with regards to Liverpool, though, I mean, we've got to touch on a good point. They have been conceding goals. I don't feel their performances have been that good in the last 3 or 4 games either. I mean, they didn't look so good against Chelsea. They didn't look so good against Villa. They didn't look so good against Southampton. Might be fatigue is playing a part.
Absolutely.
In this,
I think it's not even fatigue. It's also the Champions League final, I would say, and that's on their mind. Like Salah, I don't think Salah starts the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's back fit yet.
So that
he's back in training. He's back in
training, but I don't think he starts. Only when I feel that it's more like that they're struggling, they've not scored, and he comes in basically. But then I would say, so that's going to be a key decision for who starts the game as well for Liverpool, because they have the Champions League. They don't want any small niggles, because fatigue has definitely kicked in. You could see it in the last couple of games, and them going very strong in the first legs of the Champions League, so that they could kind of lay off or get the second team in, and just to play off, just to play through the games. But I feel that it's clearly showing they've not had more dominating. They've been winning, so they've not stopped winning. That's one thing. So they have the momentum with them. Bruno Lage and his team, they are surprise packages. I don't think they will win against Liverpool, but I don't think they're going to make it easier as well, because they're very strong defensively in that sense. You need to really break them up.
People say they're strong defensive, but to be honest, they've been pretty bad in the last few games defensively. I think they have been good at the start of the season, but over the last few games, they've just tailed off. Like really, they conceded quite a few.
They have been conceding. Like I'm not saying they've not been conceding, but it's not as easy that you could break Norwich like that, or Leeds. They're open. They don't leave open gaps. It's very hard to kind of break that defense. If it's either a mistake or a penalty or something, which they concede off easily sometimes, but then it's not. That's kind of the thing. Like, so
you can see where my mindset is going at, because it's like that's where I'm at right now. But let's talk about because it's like, well, Liverpool, those are too easy. No, they're not gonna. Yeah, it's easy. Anyway, but the world is against.
So I think it's more for Klopp. I think it's psychological for Klopp as well, because I think for the Liverpool, the biggest thing is like, does Klopp play a strong side against Wolves, or does he hold back and plays and just holds off? Because even so I think for Klopp to win the Champions League, he needs Van Dijk, he needs Salah, he needs Mane. Like, these are three essential, and these are the 3 essential in my mind that he will kind of try to protect as much as he can for the Real Madrid, for the Champions League final. Now, if you remove these 3 from the game, he definitely has amazing substitutes. Like, the bench is like, it's funny, like a couple of seasons back, we were talking about the amazing Pep roulette, but now we're talking about the Klopp roulette in a way, where he has more options even to choose those players. So I think that's in my mind, that's a conundrum that maybe Klopp is going through, and he's feeling like, okay, do I really need to, because he will go for the win. I'm not saying Liverpool is not going for the win. Liverpool will go for the win, but does he risk? Because if there's a niggle, if there's an injury, and he can't play the best team in the Champions League, that will play on the mind.
Yeah, I think he will go with his best team, though. I don't think he will not do that. Gaurav, I don't know if you disagree, but I don't think they've got a week to the finals, so they've really got time to recovery time won't be an issue. They've really got to go with their best. I mean, I don't think Liverpool fans would want him to sacrifice any opportunity to win the league, right?
But I understand Knayha's point.
Yeah, I understand it too. I just don't think
the thing is when Dijk and Salah, they have been struggling with injury. So do you risk it? Do you risk it right now before a game? Champions League game, especially when you're playing Wolves, and you could win it without them as well. And I think Van Dijk hasn't been in the best of form this season. Konate and Matip has done a really good job.
Yeah.
I think
Konate has been amazing.
Best,
I think Konate has been a revelation.
Yeah, Konate has been
even Matip has been their best defender this season. Yeah. So that's the thing. Do you risk it? Do you risk playing Van Dijk and Salah? They're not.
I don't think we need to play Van Dijk in this game.
And also, I would like to mention that Liverpool have played every possible game.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. You were saying. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, they have played every possible game this season. The maximum games they could have played. So definitely the fatigue factor and the injury things that is supposed to happen.
Yeah. It's not normal to play so many. But you know what? I think I just believe, and we'll talk about combinations next. But I do believe that if I don't think he will risk, I don't think he needs to risk Van Dijk for this game. I think Van Dijk is someone you don't need to risk for this game. Yeah. Salah might be iffy because you might want to have that X factor, but we'll talk about that actually. Combination, Gaurav. Let's start with the midfield first, and then we'll come to the attack. Who's your three that you go in the? I guess I'm assuming he's going to play three. So who's your three in the midfield that Liverpool should go with?
Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson, definitely.
Is Fabinho back? Is he back? I know that he had a bit of a niggle, right? He's back now.
I think he had a niggle, but I think he will play this game because he, even if he wants to start him for the Champions League or he wants some game times. But he has more options now. So I think even
it's not Fabinho. I think it could be Keita, Henderson, and
that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking he
might go with Keita. I think he might rest. If Fabinho is a doubt, he might rest Fabinho as well. Again, defensive players for this game is not such a big deal. I think you can get away with resting defensive players. You need the offensive players because Wolves are not very carrying much of a goal threat. You see what I'm trying to do here, but yeah, Wolves don't carry much of a goal threat, so that's why I think that he will go with that. Offensive. I guess if Salah is not playing, do you start Firmino or do you start Jota? Let's start with you, Knayha, on this one.
I think it's Luis Diaz, Jota, and Firmino. These three start this game.
You will not have Mane? You will rest Mane for this one?
Yeah, I will rest Mane. I'll rest Mane for the first half or something. Just to see.
He doesn't want Liverpool there. No.
I just want them because that's what I think that it makes more sense because these three players themselves have been like Luis Diaz can score goal on his own. Like he can set it on plates for Jota, who's really good and in the air as well. So I think that's what I'm thinking. The combination of these three as well works. So that's the conundrum that Klopp has right now. If Liverpool is not winning the game easily in the first half, he gets Mane, Salah, and his strikers on. He possibly plays the 5. And he's like, I don't care about conceding right now. I need to score goals because, hey, it's 0-0. And I can't, I need to bring the fight now I need to score goals. So I think that's what happens. In my mind, he does not even start Mane. So it's Firmino, Jota, and Luis Diaz.
Yeah. Gaurav, what do you think?
I think it'd be Diaz, Jota, and Mane.
Yeah, Jota, Mane. Yeah, it makes sense to me as well. Yeah, I think Mane has to start. The thing that Knayha does make a good point is the fact that Liverpool, whether they win or not, it's not in their hands, right? They need City to draw points. So it's not. But I do feel that in such a big game, you don't want to give City that psychological benefit of knowing, Liverpool are taking it a bit easy. So, they've already given up. You don't want to give them that psychological leg up. You want to make them feel like, we're going to make it difficult for you. That's just what I feel. So I feel maybe
I think one of Mane and Salah has to start. That's the thing. That's why I think Salah is not completely fit. So Mane definitely has to start.
Yeah, that's what my thing. Anyway, we spent a lot of time on this and we still have other things to talk about. But let's do finally prediction. Who's going to win the league? Gaurav, go. Liverpool or City?
City.
All right. Knayha, what do you think?
I think City wins the league.
You know what, you guys are both, we're all prepared here. But you know what? I have this very, very bad feeling in my heart. I can't explain it. I just feel Liverpool are going to sneak it. I feel like things are working out for them in the universe. Everything is it's all aligning. They're going to do the quadruple this season. Oh my God.
They're not going to do the quadruple. That's very sure. So that's kind of the thing. That's what I think this is where it stops in my mind. They're like
You know
they'll
what?
do the double and that's it.
No,
They because I don't think even they're winning the Champions League, but I think this is where it stops. It's like okay,
I don't know. I don't
they
know.
could
I
do
don't
what
know.
they
You
did.
know what?
I hope you're right.
I hope so too. I hope so too. But you know what? We'll only know. We'll know tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow, and then we'll be back here with the reaction for that. Either I'll be very happy or I'll be very sad. But anyway, we'll know that. We'll know about that tomorrow. Let's move on. Top four race again. Arsenal should have wrapped it up, Gaurav. I mean, seriously, when they were ahead and they've kind of bottled it, and now it just. I mean, what it's just. It's out of their hands now, isn't it? It's like as long as Spurs beat Norwich, which they should. I mean, the only reason we're saying that is probably because it's Spurs, but really the fact is that did Arsenal bottle it? Do you think where do you think it went wrong? Do you think the tactics got caught? The squad, the small squad got caught? What happened?
I think the inexperience from the players has shown there. This is what happens when you have really young players, and even a coach who's not that experienced, and definitely the squad, their squad has been thin. They have missed out players on injuries as well, and I'm actually pretty surprised that in this position after first 5 or 6 games of the season. I think they were on the 20th spot after 3 games or so. And,
Yeah.
and even getting in this situation, fighting for the top 4 is a big thing for them. When you look at the players they have, you don't really see world-class players. On paper, they're not really a good team. Arsenal, and even come this far, I think it's a really big thing for them.
I think they have a good first 11. It's just that they can't keep their first 11 fit. And
I think they dropped the ball. I think they just got overconfident. I would say they just eventually realized, we have we are here, and the business end of the season it's never over till it's over. Like that's the hard reality of the Premier League, and how at one moment Spurs will nowhere like. No, it's like so ironic to kind of even think about it. Like the first match, Brentford winning against Arsenal, and we are now talking about Arsenal bottling it not to making top 4. So it has the conversation has definitely shifted. But then that shows how competitive the Premier League itself is, and it's all of the things that Gaurav said, the inexperience. But this helps the team. This helps them to kind of think about that they can progress. And you have to understand they're a very very young squad. Lacazette has not started. Aubameyang left them in the middle. They've not had that core set yet. And Nketiah kind of coming in and then scoring goals, but then it's still nobody stepped up. And I think nobody, and that's what was said. Even if after the game they lost the previous game, all the players were like, we did not deliver. We basically we had a plan and we didn't work on that. It was hard for us. And so these statements, I don't know how much is it emotional or just like the moment. I don't get it, but then it's more like they definitely Arteta. It would have been it's still okay. It's technically still possible, but I don't see Spurs dropping points to Norwich. There is no chance. The top 4 is done. Arsenal will play I think the Europa League, and so. That's good enough. I would say that's not a bad thing for them, but it's important that they build on top of this. They should get more players over summer and strengthen that squad because for them, Saka has been great and Nketiah has been amazing. The number and Smith Rowe, exactly. Smith Rowe has been amazing. Odegaard has fit, like he has slotted into that squad after coming in. And so Xhaka has been coming, and so the Lacazette will go. They will lose some players, but then I think they're in a rebuild, which is good, and they're trusting a manager as well. So in that sense, I would say that they did drop the ball, but then
they are well placed to challenge again next season. I mean, the only question, of course, is that next season there will be more competition once Newcastle get their bearings right. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, that what
and Manchester United maybe.
And no one not talking about that right now. But yeah, so Knayha made a good point though, Gaurav, which is talking about the fact that Arsenal lost to Brentford on opening day. Spurs beat Manchester City on opening day, man. People forget that, and then they just kind of tailed off under Nuno.
Yeah.
And that 3-0 defeat to United, it just turned the gears and said, yeah, let's go for Conte. And then they brought Conte in, and it's completely changed. I mean, they've transformed. Maybe they've been helped by the fact that the other teams around them have been crap. But the reality is that Conte has done something to this team. He's changed the mentality a little bit. I mean, do you see him staying? Well, I mean, it's probably too early to talk about that. Let's not talk about that right now. But it was a good appointment, though. I mean, it feels like the players are more happier under him. It looks like they did the right thing by appointing him in season.
Definitely. I think he's someone who has sorted out their defense as well, and he's getting the best of the players. And the problem with Arsenal, I think, is they don't have a spine. Like for City, they have one of Laporte or Diaz, and then ahead of him Rodri and De Bruyne. That kind of players Arsenal are missing. And if you see Spurs, they have a really good striker in Kane, and then they have Son and even defenders, and they have that balanced team. And Conte has definitely helped them. He has brought the best out most of the players.
And of course, the fact that they signed players in January, which Arsenal will do, is that ultimately going to? I think that ultimately cost them as well, right? They brought Bentancur and Kulusevski in, which Arsenal didn't buy anymore.
And I think if the board agrees to sign a couple of players, I could see him staying. I think.
I mean, that's something for the review show when we do that. We'll talk about whether Conte stays or not. But yeah, definitely. I think ultimately that January decision might have been critical in where the Spurs finished. And of course, they're going to try to make those deals permanent now. So that would be something as well to think about. But anyway, let's do prediction time. Knayha, let's start with you this time. Spurs or Arsenal, top 4? I think
it's Spurs.
Yeah, I think you already said Spurs. Yeah.
It's Spurs top 4 confirmed. There's no.
Spurs for me as well.
Yeah, I'll go with Spurs as well. I think we're all rooting for Spurs. So yeah,
I'm just wondering how many. The question we should ask right now is like, does Son actually catch up Salah on the Golden Boot or not in this game?
I don't know. Let's not worry about that. Let's get the job done, Son. Do the job. That's what Conte would be telling him. But anyway, let's see. Maybe he can.
I think the kind of form he is in and the kind of form Salah is in right now, he could catch in. He could score. Easily score a couple of goals. Yeah, he might not play. He hasn't even been in the best of forms. Salah.
Exactly.
He has been pretty average. And of course, if Liverpool are leading 2-0 or 3-0 at 60 minutes, we don't bring Salah on. They might bring him on for match practice, but we don't really need to risk him and try to get it or whatever. So let's see what happens. I mean, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that Spurs are going to get through. Let's talk about the next one, not the more glamorous one, but the Conference League, Europa League tussle as well between Manchester United and West Ham United. I mean, there's so much you can talk about Manchester United, but really I don't want to make it about that. But Erik ten Hag will be in attendance. I mean, if that is something, that might be something for the players to go. Yeah, we got to play well now because we've got a new manager watching over us.
I would say the otherwise as well. Like, if they want to play worse, please do that on that game so that he knows not to pick you ever, and just show what you. I'm so, because for me this season I don't even give a shit right now where they end up, because we have been terrible. United has been terrible this season. It's been, and I think there was news that Ronaldo is not starting the game as well. So so that's kind of out of the picture. So when we're not playing with Ronaldo, we are pretty average or below average. I would say we're only average when Ronaldo starts. So I'm not even expecting us to win this game in my mind. So I'm guessing West Ham will topple us in that sense. So that's what I'm saying.
Let's talk about West Ham, because we talked about enough about United. We know what they're all about. We know they're probably going to lose this game. So let's start West Ham, because we are playing Brighton. Brighton are not a bad team, and of course they look much better than they are against United. They're not a team that scores 4 goals in a game, but everybody does that. But Brighton are good, and for some reason, Gaurav, this season they've suddenly found goals which they were not able to. I watched them last season, and all they were doing was always missing chances. But this season, they've been able to convert some of those chances. So do you think and I think they're playing at home as well. West Ham are playing away.
They're playing home. West Ham is playing at home.
And I don't know where West Ham are mentally after that Europa League game, because they seem to bounce back well against City. But do you think they'll want to be in the Europa League again, won't they? Because they're currently European football either way, but they want to be in the Europa League, right? Just to have one more crack at that competition.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all to play for West Ham. But it's definitely going to be a tough game. Brighton has been really good. Even against City, I thought they were really good. They have found it. They are strong at the back, but what has surprised me that they have found it goal scoring touch. They are scoring a lot of goals. And West Ham, I feel their defense is leaky. I think they are not that sorted in the back. So Brighton could definitely exploit that as well.
Yeah, and Michael Antonio is not in the best of form, and I know he's doing the other stuff, but he's not in form. He's not in form in front of goal, and that's the problem as well.
They have Bowen. Like,
they're Bowen, right?
On a hot form, so it's like
Yeah,
I'm wondering why
Like,
none of the big clubs are going after him. I think he's a brilliant
I
player.
think they want to. The problem is if Rice is worth 150 million pounds for David Moyes,
then
how
you,
much is Jared Bowen worth? He's probably worth 100 million right now. I know these are all rubbish figures, but I mean that's the reality. He's English, he's young, and he's probably going to ask for 100 million for him. So that's probably why nobody's really going in, because they've been pretty much priced out of
yeah.
these one. That's my understanding as well. I mean, I would take Jared Bowen at United for 30, 40, 50. I would take him for 50 million pounds or somebody. But no way West Ham are going to agree to that. So, and that's
Maybe
the thing
there's
with
a
Jared Bowen.
surprise somewhere. Maybe there is some surprise somewhere. Somebody's going to swoop him in. Maybe Liverpool, who are smarter.
I don't think. No, I think
anybody
Liverpool have
else.
already signed Fabio Carvalho, so they don't need another.
Yeah,
Wing,
but they still could, just to kind of, if they win all the quadruple, and then they're like, this is what we're doing every season now.
maybe. Well, they already signed Holland, so there's only one there. But anyway, yeah, but I think that'll be an interesting game as well to watch West Ham. So between West Ham and United, who do you think is going to make tops? Who's going to make sixth? Let's start with you, Gaurav.
I think West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. Yeah. I think you said West Ham, so yeah.
I know
I've got to
that's
say, yeah. It's just, you know what, the hard part for me is I know United are going to lose against Crystal Palace. I think that is a given. I don't think you can have Ten Hag there, you can have Jesus there. That's not going to matter, right? I think they're going to lose. I think at this point the team is so far gone. My only question is whether Brighton will want to do that, because Cucurella right now is also being linked with City. There are a few other players. I mean, Bissouma is being linked with other teams as well. So maybe this is a point where they want to show that, yeah, we can still hang with the best. And so that's my concern, is whether West Ham can beat Brighton. But then the thing is, they only need a draw. I do feel West Ham will sneak in. I don't think they will do it easily, but I think West Ham will sneak in. Might be with a draw and United lose, because that's really all they need. They're just a point, I believe, behind. So
they're 2 points behind.
Also,
I
draw
think-
won't be enough. Okay, so draw won't be enough.
They
But
need to win the game. West Ham needs to win the game, and
win the
United
game.
needs to kind of lose, basically.
Yeah, lose basically. Yeah.
But even if
I also-
even if
Lose or draw.
United draw and West Ham wins, West Ham is through
Yeah,
because of goal difference.
right?
Yeah, Gaurav,
And
sorry.
lose or draw. Sorry, Gaurav. you were saying?
I feel like playing in Europa for United it's not really a big thing. Like they don't want to. I feel like at this point, but for West Ham, that's definitely something that
They don't want to play for
do. So
United
that is good.
right now. They just don't want to play right now. They just Europa. You could put them in the Champions League final. They probably would be like, no, we don't want to play in that. Sorry,
Not interested.
Yeah, not
We are
that's
on
probably what
vacation
happened.
already.
But you could play them in the World Cup final for all I care. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, I do feel West Ham wanted more, and I think the fact that the way they played against City showed that they don't have much of a hangover. I think they'll definitely be disappointed that they didn't play the Europa final, because I think they wanted that. But anyway, I do feel West Ham will get it. I think this will be one of their last chances as well to really make that Europa League. Because I think next season the competition will be just more tougher. But yeah, I think West Ham will sneak in. That's what I feel. But anyway, we'll see. Final ones, relegation. I mean, Everton have survived against all odds. They got a bit lucky, but they've done it. They've survived. So it's now down to 2, Burnley or Leeds. I mean, we were all raving about Leeds last season, and I think you and I, we might have touched on this before the season. We said Leeds are in trouble. They're looking very, very shaky. They're not, there's something off, and it's just been a mess for the last few months. They've just but they somehow managed to hang in there, but it's just been such a big mess for them.
Yeah, I think we discussed this in the 4th or 5th game week that they could be in trouble this season, because teams have found out how to play against the Bielsa side, especially, and the players was also kind of exhausted with the way that he played, going gung-ho, pressing all the time, and that has definitely caught up to them as well. And I feel like they are going down, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just surprising though, because of the way they played last season was really good. It's injuries, isn't it, Knayha? I mean, at the end of the day, you've lost Patrick Bamford, they lost Calvin Phillips for large parts of the season. The red cards obviously don't help. The fact that they've been getting so many of them, the team looks in disarray.
Absolutely, and as Gaurav said, it's been brewing that you can't sustain that level of consistency. Like if that's the only way you play. That's the only way you play, and then people know how you play, and then you need to adapt to a different style, which I think with the new manager they've tried. It has worked for a couple of games, but then it's not sustainable, because it doesn't change like that. It takes time for that to get in. But then what we have seen, at least in my mind, it's a toss of a coin. Who I want to, I would love Leeds to still be there in the Premier League, because I think they've given us so much to look forward to. We're all kind of very interested when Leeds kind of used to play last season, and what they might do and what they could bring on. But this season has been completely different talk altogether. But yeah, I would still want Leeds to kind of hold on, but it's the momentum is still with Burnley, because in a way I feel that in that sense. But then Leeds could be a surprise. But then Ellen Road, I don't know if they're playing home or away.
No, they're playing away. They're playing away to Brentford. Leeds are playing away to Brentford. Burnley are playing Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah, that's the
Newcastle
thing.
at home. So Burnley playing
Newcastle is
Newcastle at
going to be a
home.
tough game.
Newcastle have been in fantastic form, by the way. I mean, there's something
Exactly,
that's on
yeah.
a little bit under the radar. So, but and I think that's the difference. I think Brentford genuinely have nothing to play for, so they probably
No.
will be like, yeah, we don't care. Newcastle, on the other hand, not that they have anything to play for, but I'm sure a lot of players will be thinking, well, there's going to be new players coming in, and we all need to make sure that I'm still here. So
Yeah.
many of them are fighting for their futures.
Absolutely. And with Eddie Howe's, like, you can see how Joe Linton and all the players were kind of putting in the efforts as well in the game, and how Wilson has kind of suddenly found amazing form, scoring from almost nowhere. But yeah, I think it's much easier for so Leeds just needs to kind of hold on, I would say, because I feel that if they can just hold on for a draw, they're through. They will survive, because Burnley, I feel Newcastle will score, and Brentford, as you said correctly, they have nothing to play for. They can just hold off with. But Brentford, Newcastle are, I don't know if they're bragging rights or if where you want to be. It doesn't matter. Does it not matter?
I think it matters more for Newcastle, because they need to be, obviously higher up as far. I don't think it matters so much for Brentford now that survival is guaranteed. So that could play into it. Gaurav, I mean, the only other thing obviously is the fact that Burnley have been here before. They're in relegation fights every season, so they have that know-how, I guess. Leeds probably don't. Do you think that'll be a factor in this tussle?
Yeah, that will definitely help them, and then I think this could be games where both of the teams, Burnley and
Leeds lose.
Leeds, both of them drop points, and both of the matches finishes as a draw, and Burnley goes to with the goal difference.
Yeah,
so that is something I think that could happen.
Yeah, I think it could come down to goal difference. Anyway, prediction time. Let's start. Knayha, there's some start with you.
I think Burnley. So just on the score lines, or just who comes?
Who's staying up? Who's staying up? Yeah.
Leeds in I want Leeds to stay up.
Yeah, okay, Leeds. Gaurav?
I feel like Burnley are going to come away, with a win or
even a draw. It's hard because you feel like both teams lose? Will one somehow get a draw? I can't predict this.
I feel like both teams will get a draw. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, okay. Then it comes to goal difference, right? Yeah.
And then Burnley is through. Then if that goes, it's
that's the thing. So yeah, I just don't know. I can't predict this one, but I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Leeds. I'll just go with Leeds. I don't know if it will happen. I'll just go with Leeds because I just have a feeling that they have the easier fixture. And so the only problem is they're losing a lot of players. But the one thing that Jesse Marsch has to tell them is, please do not get sent off. Nobody gets sent off. Please, whatever happens, don't get sent off, because that is the real problem. They just kill themselves when they do that. So hopefully that is something that will come through.
That was very immature of them, getting sent off at this point of the season when you are fighting relegation. And very silly decisions from the players.
Yeah, and I know there's I think they're missing 5 players. I think 4 of them are suspended. So yeah, it's just it's madness.
And 5 with injury, so they basically are playing with like 15 or 16 man squad with players from their second team or something. On the bench.
They're in big trouble. But it's one game. Just find some resolve. Try to see what happens, and that's the best they can do. It's out of their hands now, so all they have to do is just do what they can and hope that they do the best that they can. Anyway, it will be a big, exciting weekend of Premier League football. Of course, we'll be here. We'll try to do a few match reactions in a row because obviously games are happening simultaneously. So I can't. Well, I might be able to watch a few together, but I won't be able to react to all of them together. So maybe I'll do 2 or 3, but we'll see how that goes. But I'll put you on the spot because we didn't talk about this, but we will talk about this because the channel is Late Night Football. Serie A has a title race still going on. I'm not going to ask you to. We're not going to go too deep into it, but a quick prediction, Gaurav. AC Milan and Inter Milan, 2 points between the two. AC Milan on top. Probably they need only a draw to confirm the title. Who do you think is going to do it? Who do you think is going to win?
I think AC Milan. They're going to win.
Nice, yeah. Gaurav, Knayha, what do you think?
I want AC Milan to win so that Zlatan Ibrahimovic can finally end his career, please, for God's sake.
It's not that bad. End his career. I know he might want
to. I just want him to end his career so that I can move on in my life and do not think about what Zlatan says.
I don't know. That'll be interesting though. To see, but I think you know what? again, it's that same thing. I see AC Milan have never been in this situation before Inter have, so they have that experience. But yeah, I hope AC Milan do it. But the way the season is going, I just don't know. Things have not worked out for me this season. So yeah, but let's see what happens. Let's see if AC Milan can do it. Anyway, we might react to that one as well a bit later on, of course, in the day, probably not at the same time. But we'll be keeping an eye on the Premier League action, of course, first and foremost. But anyway, thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much, Knayha, for joining me on the show. I hope you enjoyed your time. I hope results go the way you want them to. Well, in this one, I can say that because in most cases, I want the results to go the same way that you guys want them to as well. So I hope results go the way that they want them to. And hopefully we can have some nice smiles all around. I know that nation, I should probably not be happy that we've done that. But yeah, let's hope that that results go the way you want them to.
Yeah, let's hope for that.
Yeah, all the best.
Yeah, may the best team win may the best teams kind of.
I want the best. I want the blue team to win. I don't care the best team anymore.
Don't care about it. Just get the blue to just let
nobody cares about the best team right now.
I know, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just get a dodgy goal. I don't care. Get a dodgy VAR goal, whatever. I don't care.
Oh shit, VAR, we didn't even talk about it, but the role VAR is going to play tomorrow. Oh yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. And keep in mind, 3 referees are retiring: Mike Dean, Martin Atkinson, and John Moss.
Perfect time to show red cards.
I don't know if any of them are officiating one of these games, but I wonder if they want to go out on a high, so to speak. Again, I decided the title. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that would be interesting. Anyway, let's see the controversies for now. Let's see what happens. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, remember to like it, share it, share your thoughts on what we spoke about. What do you think of the predictions? Top 4, Europa, title race, relegation. What do you think? Who's going to win it? Who's going to, how's it going to go? Let us know in the comments. Obviously, love hearing from you guys. Please do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Also follow us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram as well. I would appreciate your support. As I said, we're going to be here tomorrow with a few reaction shows. So, once you subscribe, you do get notifications as well as videos drop. So if you want to stay tuned to reactions, do subscribe and follow as well. And all the best to all of you, to all of your teams. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching this. Bye-bye.